we go.
Epis, Epis Radio. Epis, Epis Radio.
Maddie B.
Epis, Epis Radio. Epis, Epis Radio.
Hitting you from NYC.
Epis, Epis Radio. Epis, Epis Radio.
Yeah. The band's back together.
Maddie B.
Epis,
Epis Radio.
You already know. You already know.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, Matty B. Epis Radio Entertainment. Thank you for joining me for the live recording of episode 82 of the Epis Sports Podcast. I have a very good friend of mine. We go all the way back to the first grade. And you may know him as Komu from Tribal Tone. I know him as Steven Espinoza, my long and dear friend, my buddy, my pal. We have too many stories. We have so little time, but here we are. Steve, thank you for joining me tonight on July 4th Eve of all things. I know you're a busy man and you're able to take your time and come join us on the show. So I appreciate you, man. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, my brother? Yeah, man, it's a pleasure of mine to be here. Very excited. I've been trying to do more interviews here and there, so it'll be a nice not practice run, but just to get into it with you. It's gonna be dope. I'm Komu. That's my artist name. It stands for King of My Universe. I'm a writer, rapper, singer, and I'm also part of a music group called Tribal Tone. It's an alternative hip hop group. It's me and 3 other members, and yeah, just trying to make some dope music. And I'm here with you live tonight to make some dope content with you. So let's get into it.
Well, you're no stranger, all right? See, you're very modest to begin there. You're no stranger of interviews. You guys been clearly doing your thing, all right? I believe you had that nice little feature with Hot 97 a little while back, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
That was pretty dope. Got to admire it. Yeah, I've been following you guys, since really you began. I've been a fan, from afar, admiring your work. And, I mean, I've always been a fan of you. I mean, we go way back all the way to first grade, like you said earlier, but, I've admired what you've done. I remember when you started your music journey, and it's nice to see your growth, your journey in itself. And I'm happy to have you on, talk about it, feature a little bit of your music, not only with Tribal Tone, but your individual songs as well. Some of the singles that you have come out with recently, great stuff all around, guys. If you haven't, check him out. You see his Instagram handle right there on the stream. Um, and I'll, feature, like I said, some of his music as we go along. Before we get into all that, though, in your music journey, take me back to you. I mean, we could talk about our relationship. I'm sure we're going to get into it, but we don't want to bore everybody out there. I want to highlight you, the man, where you come, born and raised. Of course, I know a lot of this, but to the viewer, you know, break it down. I know you're an open book when it comes to that, and that's what I like to do with all my guests that come onto the show. I really want to just highlight you, your backstory, the origin, and then we'll transition into the music and all that.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, man. I just want to say thanks. I appreciate you following the music, following my music journey, and yeah, man. It's funny. You find that the most support you get is usually from strangers. You don't really get all the support you would normally get from you'd expect from family and friends. But no, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm just trying to
But yeah,
uplift everyone else, man. We've always been
no,
that way, right? So like,
100%.
it's that's why we still gravitate towards each other. You know what I mean? not everybody's that way, and that's okay. That's fine, you know. But yeah, listen, I'm always look, even if I'm not in touch with somebody, yeah, I'm always, it's if I see him on the internet, yeah, I'm gonna like that shit. I'm gonna support that shit. Yeah, it's like, why not, right?
Yeah.
What what does it
Well,
really hurt at the end of the day, you know?
yeah. Well, that's the thing about like long lifelong friends. You tend to pull Houdinis and disappear every now and then,
Mm.
but then you find each other, and it's like no time has passed at all.
Yeah,
So it's a
no
beautiful
doubt,
thing.
no doubt. Tell me
But anyway,
about
so yeah,
yourself
so
again. Take me back to the
yeah.
origin, you know.
All right. So obviously my name is Steven. That is my name that I was born with. I grew
His
up here
government
in
name, as he likes to say.
my government name. Yes, my
Uh,
government credential. Um, so I was born and raised here in New York City. All my life I've lived in Queens. I was born here, raised here. My parents, my nationality is Colombian. My parents were immigrants, and they came to this country back in like the 70s. And I grew up with me alongside with three other older brothers. And my parents were very old school. They're like my dad was he was born in 1950, so he's from Colombia, so like they have a whole other different mindset, cultural background, and a lot of the values and the things that were instilled in me were from my parents and the generation that they came from. Sometimes I feel like I'm a person lost in time, like I wasn't really meant for this time.
mm.
I honestly feel like I'm just a 70-year-old man in a young man's body. I've always felt like that. But yeah, so I grew up here, and you know there's a lot of things that people search for in their lives, and things that they think they want to do. And you always get that question when you're a kid, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you
Mm.
want to be? What do you like that, right? So, and you get your answers like, oh, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a fireman, or I want to be whatever the case, right?
A baseball player.
My Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And my answer to that question, whenever I was asked at that age, was I want to be a father. Like, I want
Mm.
to have a family.
You
Like, that
did
was
used to
my
say that a
main,
lot, yeah.
that was my main motivation. Like, for me, a lot of people, they measure success in their life with, what's in their bank account, whatever other things like that that they try to measure their life with. My measure of success to me
Mm.
was always having a family, and then not only having a family, but a family that loves me and loves me and wants me to be there and all that. So
Hmm.
um, those were my motivations growing, and I think it's mostly due to the fact that I was born in the family that I am, because my parents had me when they were older, so I'm the last of their four children, and they were already in their 40s when they had me, so they had me a
Mm.
little later.
Right, right.
And so I already had that predisposition. Like, as soon as I came into this world, I saw the example from my father. He worked. He owns his own painting company. Like, he brought it out the mud. Like, he did it all himself.
Mm.
And he came to this country not knowing the language, just already had a baby, already had a wife, and long story short, um, those values were always there. As soon as, like, that was always like my predisposition. So I came into this world saying, like, okay, that's you have your family, you take care of your family,
Mm.
you have children, you get married. So for me, that was my example. So that's why my mindset was always like that. So yeah, so I grew up like, we moved around a lot when I was younger. We were bouncing around from like Maspeth to like Elmhurst and stuff. We lived in a few different apartments. But then when I finally moved to the house that I'm in now, which is in Maspeth, um, that's when we really like locked down in here, and then that's where I grew up mostly. Um, and yeah, man, I mean, if it wasn't for that move, I would have never met you, because I'm right around the block from 229. So, and that's where you and I met.
Yeah,
But
when zone schooling mattered, apparently, and yeah,
yeah,
it would just so happen to be fate that you and me do meet, and here we are. right?
Yeah,
Almost 30
yeah, yeah.
plus years
So
later, man. It's
at this
amazing.
point, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely 25, almost 30. We're almost there.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so because I grew up in that in this family scenario that I just laid out, this was definitely my motivation, and I kind of always knew what I needed to do. I was like, you know, do school, do what you gotta do, you know, get a job, make money, do all that stuff. I was very lucky that my father owned his own business. So, I started working at a young age. I started working at like 13 years old, and I was doing like hard manual labor because he does painting and he does
Hmm.
contracting. So, he would bring me to work, and his hard manual labor, bringing like 50-pound compound buckets up flights of stairs, and like just even the act of like sanding down a wall, like dude, the amount of just stress on the arms and everything. So it was hard work, and I kind of see it as a blessing and a curse because that taught me my work ethic,
Hmm.
and because I learned it at such a young age, and I worked so hard at a young age, and like you know, it was a thing where any other job I got after that, it kind of just seemed like child's play to me. It
Hmm.
just seemed like I'm like, this is
Yeah.
it. This is all I got to do. Like this is
I understand
like
that feeling. Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah. So that kind of molded me throughout the rest of my life, and so like I said, it's like a curse and a blessing. But yeah, and I take that work ethic in with me in everything I try to do, especially with the music, and I thank my dad for that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much my origin story for the most part. I don't know if there's any other question you want to follow up with.
Well, I got plenty. Don't worry about that. But we could talk a little bit about us and and our story as well, just for the viewer. I mean, obviously we can't shy away from it. We got to talk about our journey a little bit, and obviously
Yeah, for sure.
meeting in the first grade, lifelong friends. Um, I mean, what can you say? Like it's just I there was a whole part of my life that existed around you, where we would spend countless amount of hours day after day,
Oh,
every
every day.
summer, just together. Obviously, as we've grown adults, that has changed as it so normally does. It happens with a lot
Yeah,
of
life
people.
life be
you know
life and life
that's
be
it,
life and
and listen, I have kids, you have kids, it's
yep.
it just happens. It really does. It's not negative towards one another. It's just this is how it ends
Right,
up
right,
being.
right.
I mean, especially nowadays, it's you got to plan like 2-3 months out, and then you be lucky that we don't cancel plans or reschedule at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, dude.
Like that's just how it goes. We obviously try to make efforts the best we can, but it is what it is. you know but
Yeah,
you mean so
no,
much
for
to
sure.
me, our on our journey. I can we could talk endlessly about days in mass, but you see me at my best, my worst, probably. I don't know about the best because I like kind
Mm.
of look at now as my best, but you
I
definitely see
got you
me
at
at
your
my
worst.
worst.
I got you at your.
Yeah, yeah. I take that back
uh,
quickly. You definitely
yeah,
got me at my worst.
I,
And well,
I was
I don't know
definitely,
about that either,
I was
though. You've
definitely,
seen me at some bad times, though. Because college
yeah, I
me was
definitely was
pretty bad.
punished.
College me was pretty
Right, right,
bad.
right,
I'm
right.
not gonna lie.
That's true.
So you weren't around for that. I was living,
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
my own thing around that time.
that's true.
But yeah, is there one thing in particular just to touch on our relationship? You go way back, it's when we were younger, those days, like. Is there? I wanted to ask you: is there a song? Since obviously, your thing is music now, and it's always really been we've been connected over the years through music. You and me have
Brother,
always, you know,
brother.
there was always a soundtrack to our life, right? Like that's always how
Oh
it's been.
yeah,
So
oh yeah.
I wanted to ask you, and for the viewer, I thought they would be interested in hearing: is there a certain song that comes to mind when you think about me.
There-
Yeah.
There's three songs that come to
Okay.
mind.
I knew you would have some.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So, songs that come to mind in no particular memory, but there were always songs that were playing in the background. Whether we were in your room,
Yes.
passing the ball around and playing some chess or
Yes.
whatever the case may be. We were just chilling, whatever. Um, the first song that comes to mind is um, "Every Planet We Reach Is Dead" by
Mm,
the Gorillas.
yeah.
That always pops up in my mind for sure.
Yeah.
Um, One other song that to this day it's just one of those atmospheric, just awesome, just like classic heavy metal song. Well, it's not even heavy metal because it's like it's from a heavy metal band, but like the song itself is so chill. It's Planet Caravan.
Oh
Planet
man.
Caravan with Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Bruh, I have so many good memories in your room. Light peering through the window, just laying on your shag carpet, playing some chess. Like
And
that song. That was yeah.
it's interesting you bring that up too because you're the one that really introduced me to Sabbath. I was never like even
Mm.
in touch with that, but you really turned me on to that side. And yeah, I mean, I'm playing it now for the people in the background a little bit, but Planet
Yeah,
Caravan,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Bro,
and
that's
that's
such
a
a good
good one.
song,
I'm
dude.
glad you came up with that because I haven't actually heard that song in a while.
Oh,
So now
it's a
that
journey. It's a journey.
after the show tonight, I'm definitely gonna light up a bowl and just you know reminisce a little bit on this song. Very cool. As I
Yeah,
play a little bit of that for you. What's the third one?
yeah.
I'm intrigued.
All right. Before the third one, let's do the honorable mention. The Doors was all. We were all about the Doors.
Yes,
Whether
yes.
it was Ghost Song, or whether it was what's the name of the poem that he does over the
Oh, like
beat?
the American Prayer. There's an American Prayer, like he does the whole
Yeah, yeah,
American Prayer
yeah,
album. I don't know if there's
yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah,
specific
yeah.
one because there's a couple.
It
You
is.
know,
It's
yeah.
I'm trying to think the name of it.
It might be the American
It's the
Prayer.
one that it's the one where he's like Indian scattered on Dawn's highway
Oh
bleeding, or is that the
yeah,
Ghost
yeah,
song? No, that's
yeah.
Ghost song. That's more. That's no. It's the one that it's got that crazy guitar in the background. He's like, Feast of Friends. How could I forget Feast of Friends?
Okay. Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
brother. That all right. But anyway, that's honorable mention. The third song that comes to mind, and it's actually it's funny because like it took me forever to after like we would hear it all the time, and then we lost touch whatever, and then I never remembered the name of the song, and it turns out that the song was actually part of your brother's playlist. It was
Mm.
part of Zero's playlist, and it's Aurorian Dance
Oh yeah,
by
yeah. By New Job S.
yeah, yeah, by New Jobs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that always
Yeah.
comes to mind whenever I think of our time. So
Well, New Job S has near and dear in my heart. Still listen to New Job S.
dude,
To this
he's
day.
got some fire, bro. Some
Rest in
fire.
peace. Rest in peace, New Job S.
God,
Satan June.
yes. God bless.
Of course.
Yeah.
But and Jim Morrison obviously as well. We could go down the list
Yeah.
of everybody that we just mentioned. But yeah, no, that song's very special, and I agree. That's one song that, especially by New Job, as that transports me back to that time. Often
Yeah.
in a very good way, in a very positive way. I'll play it for you
And
guys
it's so
just real
funny.
quick.
It's so funny because like I said, I've forgotten it. I completely forgot the name of it. I didn't even think I knew the name of it. I just heard it all the time. I was like, this is fire.
Mm.
And I remember, I think I hit you up about it. I was like, yo, dude, do you remember this song? Do you remember this? And you're like, yeah, kind of, but I don't know. I was like, and I think either you asked your brother or I asked your brother,
I
and then he's just
definitely
like,
knew
how's
which
it
one it
go?
was.
Yeah, so whatever was the case, I remember being like, it goes like this, dun, 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 boom, 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 and immediately he's like, oh yeah, that's not your business. Yeah,
Right.
like I spent years trying to figure it out. This guy knew it instantly, like.
Yeah, the second you play those chords, yeah, or even the
Yeah, yeah,
mum
yeah,
it a little bit, yeah, that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, man. And honestly, when you come up with that song. It just brings me back to the late nights, you and me hanging out, just on the streets
Yeah,
of
man.
Maspeth, Middle Village, whatever. Just,
Oh,
riding our bikes, hanging
Can,
around, just,
can
just.
I just say, not to interrupt you, but can I just say
Yeah.
how crazy that our childhoods were? Like,
Mm.
imagine your son out and about at 8, 9 years old, all over the place. Like,
Yeah, no, no. Yeah, we were definitely breaking the boundaries around those times. By
we're
13, we were fucked. It was over. Like,
yeah,
like,
bro.
yeah. I
Where are you
mean,
going? To the park? Oh
yeah.
yeah. See you later.
Halfway across Queens, if you're lucky,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
Nah, we're
mean,
in Brooklyn at that point.
right? Um, just it's absurd. I don't know if it's like that nowadays. I don't know. It's certainly not for my children. Well, yeah, I have little children outside of my eldest, but he's doing
Wow.
doing his
I
own
think
thing.
we were the last of the
Yeah,
latchkeys kids. I think we were the last of the latchkey kids, to be honest.
it's definitely a bit different now, and I mean, I don't know. I don't. Why do you think that is? Outside of the social media and all that. I mean, like, it's. I guess it's like accessibility. Nowadays kids don't
I
even
don't know.
ride the
It's
bikes. They
it's
got electric bikes. Could you imagine if we have electric bikes and scooters and shit back in the day? You know how much ground we would
oh yeah,
cover? I heard
absolutely.
somebody bring that up the other day. I'm like, it's so true. Like, oh my god, the accessibility that the kids have now. We'd be doing a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think what it is generational. It's
Yeah.
definitely generational. Like our parents, remember our parents, they came from a different time and they came from a different set of rules.
Mm.
And every time it gets bumped up in the line is like you're a little bit more lenient or a little less lenient. And I think what happened is, a lot of like you said, like the social media and stuff when the internet came around, video games, like the type of video games we have now, the type of access you have now, it's like a lot of people just stay in. You don't see as many kids out. You really don't. Like, not as like before. Like, parks were
Yeah.
just packed with kids. Nowadays, you're lucky if you see a few, you know. But it's definitely a generational thing. I think as we've gained more information, especially with like mental health and like raising kids and stuff, and all of us, we had some checkered relationships with our parents, and like we had our issues and stuff, and I think that I let's see. I'm let me unpack this a little bit.
That's
I
okay.
think
That's
what
okay. Yeah,
happens
take
is
your time. Take your time. No rush on it. Yeah.
yeah, I think what happens is that we're just more aware about like childhood trauma. We're more aware about that kind of stuff. So like now with our kids, we're a little bit more involved. We're a little bit more gentle in our approach.
Mm.
Where it's just a different generation. Like we grew up and all the things that we were missing, we're just trying to like do a little bit better, and that's being more involved. Like my parents, they loved me. They gave me everything. They gave me a house, they gave me food, they gave me clothes and all that stuff. But they weren't really involved with my life. They didn't
Right.
really know who I was or anything like that. Like that, no, that didn't really matter to them. In their head, it's just like as long as you're alive, you're good. Like that's it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
stay out of trouble. Stay out of trouble. That's about
Right.
it. But to like delve into like who I am and my personality, it's not really something that they were about. So I feel like as the generations have gone on, we're a little bit more in tune to that. We're a little bit more, we want to be involved with like me. I would, as my kid grows up, I would love to be involved in his personality and the things that
Mm.
he does and who he is and all that stuff. Where that just wasn't really a thing before. I think that's what it really is.
It definitely wasn't the norm. No doubt about that. My,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I would say my parents were probably a little bit more in touch with that, but at the same time, I hear you. Like there's certain aspects of my
American.
life and
You're
who,
Americanized. Yeah.
yeah, different culture for sure. And that matters
Yeah.
obviously, right? But even then, there's certain aspects of my upbringing where I there's certain just things about me that my mother did not know, and obviously I was kind of
Yeah.
robbed of dad being around with him passing away early on in my life, at the age of
Bless his
13.
soul.
So
God rest his soul.
there was that, sure. got his picture right here looking at me. We
I
both.
loved your dad, bro.
Yeah, oh, well,
I loved your dad.
yeah, you probably got the best of my dad because there was not
He
many
was rough around
people.
the edges, but I loved him.
Yeah, there's not many people walking around this earth right now that knew him well anymore.
Yeah,
It's a shame, and you definitely, you're one of the few lucky ones to actually understand. It's nice to have that. It's nice to know there's some people
yeah,
out there still think about him in that way. But yeah, like in regards to my mother, like there's certain aspects of that where she just she may thought she was taking interest but really wasn't, and or wasn't really listening to me in that type of way, which is fine. Like, I mean, I'd
yeah,
have no regret. She did what she did. She raised me the best way she could possible, and she was giving her best effort in term as in regards to being a mother. And
yeah.
I'm not gonna knock
It was
her
a
in any
difficult
way.
situation for
Yeah,
both of you. It was a
yeah, no
difficult
doubt,
situation for both of you.
no doubt. But yeah, man, like all these things they come into play. It shaped us who we are, and in terms of the generation now, I don't think it's a bad thing that we take that approach that you were alluding to just before. But I do think, yeah, it kind of has changed thing. I also think we're, as parents, we're a little bit more hyper aware of what the fuck is going on around us, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just, especially with social media, and it's staring you right in the face every day. It's like these dangers. Whereas back in the day, it wasn't as obvious to us. We
the
almost,
world was a
you
lot
know,
smaller.
you're right. You're almost like clueless to to the real world of what's going on. And
Yeah, yeah,
you and me certainly we're living in our own world in mass. And obviously we stretch
yeah,
the boundaries or whatever. But truly, when you just look at just the Maspin, Middle Village, that those surrounding areas, mainly Queens, as kids, we explored every inch and nook and cranny of that area, and certainly has changed over the years. But we were living in a very different time where people were, there's no phones around. On the times of riding my bike just to see if you were home, only to find out that you weren't or whatever, and then I have to like communicate with your parents who don't speak great English, and it's like just to figure out a way to find you, or vice
yeah.
versa,
But
like it's
I don't know.
just.
I don't know if you remember this one time. I remember. I think we were 8 years old. 8 years old. Yeah.
Mm,
And I came to your house on my bike,
mm-hmm.
and I came to look for you. And I don't remember if you were home or not, but your mom did answer the phone. I mean, the phone. She did answer
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
door. And then your mother asked me, she's like, "Do your parents know you're here? You're really far from home, don't you know?" I'm like, "Yeah, my parents know." Yeah, well, I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna let them know. I was like, "Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead, call
Th-
them."
uh, th- there was that. There was always that. Yeah, the
Yeah,
parents
yeah,
did look out for other parents back then, most part,
yeah, no.
for the most part. They tried. My
Oh, your
mom would.
mom took care of me, bro.
Yeah, my
Your
mom
mom
took
took
care
care
of
of me,
all the
bro.
neighborhood kids. That's what they were about.
Yeah,
That's what they did, man.
yeah,
That's the beauty of it. All right, let's because we could go forever about us. We got to get
yeah,
into
yeah,
it. We got to
yeah.
get into the
Let's roll
music.
it along. Yeah, yeah.
All right, everybody, if you're watching live right now on Twitch and YouTube, I appreciate it. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, follow the whole nine. Check my boy Komu right out there. You got his handle on the screen, his Instagram handle, and I'll pull up his page as we talk a little bit. We get into all his music right now. I'll show you the Tribal Tone page. I'll show you his page, personal page. We're going to feature some of his music, as I said off the top of the show. Um, Tribal Tone. I know, the music journey. Tell us where that really all started. Again, I remember, but you always playing instruments growing up. Yeah, you were doing your thing. You were just always musically inclined. Love to see it, and I just as a friend, tried to be support, try to just enjoy, what you were doing, and loved seeing your growth over the years. When did the whole hip hop thing come into play for you? When you start rapping, and tell me, we'll go from there. Well, tell me about how you formed what you have now in Tribal Tone.
Yeah. So I guess I guess I'll start off a little bit with music was a big part of our lives. You and me both. It was
Mhm.
just a very big part of our lives, and we were very lucky to grow up in the generation that we did because we got to have the benefit of all the classics, and then also all the new stuff that was coming in. And we also had the privilege of having like file sharing, so it's like we could have 10,000 songs on a playlist, and it could be of every genre of every different thing. So we had a little bit more exposure than most people did.
Right.
Back then it's like whatever you were limited to whatever was on the radio, or you were limited to whatever CDs you could afford, or whatever the case. But us, like, we got just the avalanche of like whatever you want, just that get LimeWire and you're good to go, pal.
I,
So I
I
was
was about to
that.
say,
I
shout
was
out LimeWire. You beat me to it.
yeah,
That's great. There you go.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I grew up with like a playlist of like 10,000 songs, and I must
Mm.
have heard every one of those songs 5 different times, and it would go from like the Beatles to like Africa Bambaataa to like the Doors to Metallica to
Biggie
just
Small.
everything and
Yeah.
anything. Biggie Small, yeah, everything, any Mobb Deep, like everything, so. I grew up with all, and I had older brothers, so they definitely influenced me with their type of music that they liked and stuff.
Mm.
But um, so music was a very big part of my life, and I don't say it lightly. Like honestly, if it wasn't for music, I probably wouldn't be around anymore.
Mm.
It really was the driving force because in moments of silence and in moments of solitude, like if I didn't have music, if I didn't get to listen to the songs that I did and understand that I wasn't the only one that was feeling the things that I was feeling, thinking the things that I was thinking, that it wasn't just me and I wasn't alone, like I probably just wouldn't be around.
Mm.
And so I always, in my back of my head, I was like, I hope I can give back to this one day. Hopefully one day. And I always loved singing. Ever since I was a kid, I was in chorus, and I did shows and stuff, and I just loved it. It was just something that was just natural in me. It would just come out. I just belt out a song, whenever I could, and so it eventually in my head, like I knew as I was growing up, I was like, I got to do something with music. I don't think I'll get rich and famous. I don't think it's gonna be anything like that. But if I could give back, if I could just maybe make one person feel or think something, keep them hanging on, like that for me will be enough.
Mhm.
So I started. So the music journey didn't start until really I met ODL, and
Mm.
it took a couple of years and that was back in high school, and it took a couple of years even from that to like actually get into it. So funny story about me and ODL. We met in high school,
Mm.
and randomly we went to Cleveland, and randomly there was just a huge group of kids outside the doors one day, and I just I'm like a reserved person. I can be friends with everyone. I'm a chameleon. I can blend in. There's that, but there's very few people that I actually like were friends with. Like I actually considered friends, and like I had a lot of acquaintances, but people who actually considered friends. And one day I was just like, I was out there. There's all these people, and I'm like, let me look among the crowd. Let me see who here would I actually hang out with. Like who would actually be my friend? Let's see. I'm looking around. Like, "Oh, that's a weirdo. Yeah, what the hell's wrong with her? Yeah. So and then I fall on this kid, and he's got like this mop hair. It's like covering his eyes a little bit. He's got the military jacket with like band patches all over it, like the Beatles, the Doors, Pink
Mm.
Floyd, this that. And I'm like, that right there, yeah, that's my friend. That's him. And I just straight up, I went up to him. I was like, yo, what's up, bro? I was like, what's your name? He's like, oh, my name is Dylan, but everybody calls me Jim. I was like, yeah, what do you want, like Jim Morrison? He's like, yeah, you like the Doors? I'm like, yeah, I like the Doors, but I'm not gonna call you Jim. You said your name's Dylan. I'm gonna call you Dylan.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. So what's funny about that story is I randomly just picked him out of a crowd. It turns out that once we actually hung out, and I went to his house, we hung out. He played guitar, so like easy lure for me. If anybody wanted to kidnap me as a kid, all you have to do is be in the back of a van with a guitar and play well, and I would have probably jumped in. But
And somehow it never happened. By the way, just
yeah. But so it turns out that after we hung out, his dad comes home,
Mm.
and his dad obviously is like, "Oh, let me meet your friend. Well, what's his name?" And he says my name to his dad, and then his dad's like, "Wait a minute, does he
I
have an older
remember this.
brother?"
Yeah.
Yes, he's like, "Does he have an older brother?" And he's like, "Yeah." And it turns out that our families were interconnected way
Right.
before we were even born. Like my parents hung out with his grandparents. My oldest brother was best friends with his dad. Like it was so crazy that there was this
Mm.
whole history. We never even knew each other, and that yet we still ran into each other,
Yeah,
randomly.
you
So
picked them out of
it's
the crowd.
funny,
You know.
basically. So,
Yeah.
so it was, just a little tidbit there. So yeah, so from then on, like I always knew, I was like, after playing music with him playing guitar, me following along or singing or whatever, I was like, we got to do something. Me and this dude, we got to do something.
Hmm.
And and then I finally got him to like get into it, and then that's when I hit him with the, listen, man, everybody expects us to be rock stars. Let's be fucking rap stars. Let's
Hmm.
do the unexpected. Let's wear like Metallica and Iron Maiden shirts and then just start rapping our asses off, you know? um,
I
and so we
forget
went
that
from
there was
there.
that side to him. Yeah, I didn't really because I don't see him in that way now. You know, but yeah, his music appreciation is very eclectic. You know, because he doesn't give
Yeah,
off that persona now. You know what I'm saying? He's
right.
more on the hop side of things, if anything. You know, more rap side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and he's good at it.
So,
Phenomenal at
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, I could show you some of his like stuff when he was a teenager playing guitar and singing.
Mm,
Out of this world. Even to this day, it's still fucking dope as hell.
mm,
But anyways, so yeah, so it kind of took me a little while to like convince him because along the way he's just like, nah, it's just a hobby. We're just messing around. It's not a big deal. I'm like, no, dude, like we got to do this. And it took me a few years, but it really wasn't until when the pandemic happened that really we got an opportunity. Because you know how it is. You grow up, things get more complicated. Life is lifing, and it's hard to start something new to pour effort and funds and all kinds of stuff into. And when you're not, dealing with the regular rat race of life. And but when the world basically came to a halt and there was a little bit of a breather from all that, that's when we really had our chance. It's like, all right, you know what? We got some time. The whole world's on pause right now. Like,
right.
let's do this. Like, let's give it a shot. And I went out. I bought us our first equipment. Our first mixer, first microphone,
Mm,
and we just started off GarageBand. And we just started recording our first songs.
mm,
And it took over, since that point, it took about 5 years. And within those 5 years, we've built up what's the word? A portfolio. We were just making songs after songs
yeah,
after
well,
songs.
discography.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like we had, like, bro, we have hundreds of songs. And along the way, that's when we picked up his cousin. That's who Dr. Scar is, who's an
Mm,
integral member of the band. He's got that more hip hop side. Like when you hear him, like you can tell, like, oh, this is like '90s era, golden era type of hip
mm,
hop. But like he does the 80-20 split where it's like, you get the 80% where it's mostly him
mm-hmm.
and it's his style, but then you also get that 20. It's like, all right, I know where he's drawing that from. And then from there, so it was the three of us, and then from there, that's when we met our other member, Louis Detone. And Louis Detone, he actually worked with Dylan. They both work in HVAC. And one day they were just, I think Dylan was like working on a unit or whatever, and he says he started hearing like someone singing, like a Rihanna or like Chris Brown, like someone was singing, and then he's like, "Yo, is my phone going off? Like, what's going on?" And then like the music, and then the stop, and then he heard it pick up again, and then that's when he realized, like, a coworker that he'd been working with for a while, he realized like, "Oh shit, this guy's got a dope voice,"
Mm-hmm.
and from there he's like, "Hey, just come over, like we can record, blah blah blah." And he recorded one, like, just basically just messing around a beat. He just did it from the hip. He just, he freestyled. And when I heard that, that song, that little freestyle that he did, it just I was like, yo, dude, we got something. Like that
Mhm.
dude right there, yeah, he's got talent. Like we got something going now. And then from there, that's just, it's been history from there. Every year we've tried to, you know, upgrade and get better equipment. And Dylan, like he's our sound engineer. He's the one who puts all this stuff together. He puts the songs together. He's doing all the backgrounds and the sound engineering of everything while on top of rapping and singing as well. And it's we got some better equipment, and then that's when we started putting ourselves out there on social media. We came up with the logo, the name, Tribal Tone, and and yeah, and ever since then we've just been trying to. We dropped a few albums. We got our first album that debuted in 2024. Is called Money, Prayers, and Madness. That's
Mm.
the first album, and then the second album we dropped a year later, and it was called Queen's Renaissance. And each album has 18 songs on them. And
God damn.
yeah, and
Yeah.
double double disc box set.
No, I
But
mean,
anyways,
I say that it's not like expanding. It's just amazing that, listen, that's not easy to do, man. Just writing music and you guys, it's all organic stuff. It's all your own, writing. Like, um, we, I would say, would mostly be the writing in terms of lyrics. Was it mostly coming from you and ODL, or kind of a fair share amongst all the members? Are you writing
uh,
for everybody? Like, how's that
no,
working out with
everybody's
guys?
their own MC.
Okay.
Everyone's their own MC.
Okay.
Everyone's their own style. Everybody's bringing something to the table.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah. Is there ever a time where you come to some sort of like disagreement? Like, hey, you know what? That wasn't. That's not good or whatever. You tweak things. Like how you give some advice, you change it. Like, how's that dynamic work? Have you ever got into
So
it with the some of your members? Like, I don't know. Like you come to a disagreement on certain things. How do you patch that
yeah,
up? Yeah.
so the way that it works, basically the way that it really works is like ODL's the middleman. Like he's the real connection between all of us.
Mm,
His cousin, his coworker, me, his partner who started it. So he's kind of like the middleman, and the way that it works is like he kind of like contemplates it in his head and he'll find beats and then he'll be like, oh, this is perfect for you and him, or this is perfect for
mm,
three of us, or this is perfect for all of us. Like he kind of coordinates that. And whenever there's any kind of issues or discrepancies, like anything, egos get involved. We may disagree, whatever, but at the end of the day, like we're all in this together. We're like, while there is that friendly rivalry competition in the mix of it, at the end of the day, we're here for each other, and we're all our own biggest fans, and we want each other to succeed. So at the end of the day, whatever little thing that comes up, we squash it because we try to be open to each other's criticism. We try to be open to each other's suggestions, and sometimes there's some stuff that like what. I gotta hand it to him. All right, he's got a point there. You let it rock. You try to be reasonable and you let it rock. And other times it's like, no, I feel adamant about this, and this is how it is,
right.
and it gets worked out from there. But basically, it's we haven't really had too many big issues,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it does come into play every now and then. It's bound to happen. You got four different egos in the mix, so it's bound to happen to bump heads at one point or another.
No,
But
for sure.
for the
But
most part,
yeah.
we're all in tune. And for the most part, it's all a shared vision, and like we want everyone wants each other to succeed. So that's really what kind of like keeps us away from that sort of bad dynamic.
All in all, how long have you guys officially been together now? I would say it's been what, at least
My
5 years.
apologies, it cut out for a second. What did you say?
Now, all in all, how long has it been since you guys been, all working together now? Is it 5+ years at this point? You said during the pandemic, essentially, right?
Yeah, so
You know,
so really been working at this for like 10 years between
okay,
me and Dylan,
right.
me
You
and
and Dylan,
ODL.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but the group, it's been the last 5 years. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And now listen, I mean, that in itself is an achievement to be around, and it shows you guys have good communication. You're working through it. You're doing your thing. You have the music catalog to back it up. And you guys are clearly doing your thing. I'm telling you, I've been saying this for years. I would love to see you guys perform live, do some shows. Have you ever done some small gigs? Is that in the works? Do we have something to look forward to? What's going on in regards to that?
Yeah, so honestly, our biggest Achilles heel is just everybody's own life and
Mm,
scheduling. Like, to be honest with you, like we've probably all have been in the same room maybe like 6 or 7 times,
mm,
to be honest, in the last 5 years, which is crazy. But yeah, it's everything has kind of taken off, in its own pace, and I have a lot of connections and opportunities that stuff like that. Stages have been offered to us. We've been invited to do things, but it's dude, it's so tough. I got my family. The other guy, Louis the Tone, he has his family and he lives in PA. Dr. Star, like he has his own like physical therapy business
mm,
that he takes care of. So like, and he also has a family. Dylan's, he's always working, so it's really tough for us to coordinate. Obviously we'd love to be on a stage, we'd love to do shows and stuff like that, but we kind of been taking a more subtle and slow approach to things, like,
mm-hmm.
and it's definitely coming down the pipe. It's just we're getting other things in order first, and you know what it is. You want to build a following, and that's what we've been doing, so that when we do a show, I can just send a notification. I can send a story out, and then 50 people will show up. Because
Sure.
it's not going to be a show if there's only like two people there. So,
Well,
but
that's not necessarily true, man. You can get some gigs where people are going to be there regardless, and you wouldn't be the only
yeah,
one. You're obviously not headlining or anything like that, but it's
yeah,
exposure, man. You just got to get out there. You got to
yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
it's definitely in the works.
Yeah.
It's mostly like scheduling issues more than anything.
Nah, listen. I understand. I get it. There's not enough time in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Yeah,
you guys, even with that, that's even more impressive in that sense, because even with that, you still have a bit of a following. You still have traction, and you still have the desire to do so. You would think, oh,
yeah,
when I would think most people, if they don't get together a lot, things like it would just kind of fall through. The creativity would die a little bit, but it seems like you guys still have that desire, that passion. Yeah, it may not be the right time right now for all of you to go full throttle into it, and I understand life gets in the way. It's not like we're all making millions here. You got to do what you got to do before the real money or the real opportunity actually kicks in. But yeah,
yeah,
don't by any means get discouraged, my man. And you know what? There's definitely an avenue there, and I believe in you. I want to see you guys grow and do more. And if there was a gig and I'm available, I'd be there. So you got me at the very least.
Well, I
Uh,
appreciate that. At least we got one fan.
um,
Yeah,
I wanted to touch on your point from earlier. I've been saving this because it's kind of funny. You mentioned how you met ODL, and
yeah,
just the history between you and him and your family, both of your families, and how it was destiny essentially, right? Like you guys were
yeah,
meant to be together. You guys were meant to be friends in that way. It's kind of funny that continues here with Epis Radio. Did you know? Are you aware of this?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
because my co-host now, on the mental health show, on the mental health podcast, she's
Yeah,
brand new addition to the show, is dating ODL's brother. So Epis Radio,
really?
you and I, the connection continues somehow, some way, which is funny because I didn't know my co-host growing up. We similar paths, all that. But we weren't friends. We kind of met later in life as adults, and here we are doing shows together. and it's just so funny. I mentioned it to her. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about actually no, I think she hit me up right because I she seen me like comment on like social media. She's hey, you having so and so on? She was talking about yeah. I'm trying to get Traveltone on whatever. Oh yeah, that's ODL's my my boyfriend's brother. I'm like what? Like that's
Really? I
yeah.
didn't know this.
Oh, see, I thought. See, you didn't know then. Okay, yeah, there
No,
you
I
go.
didn't know. No, 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 no.
It's still kind of on the hush hush a little bit, so I'm actually
It
spilling
seems like
beans.
okay.
But I may be getting her in
Dropping that
trouble.
tea, son.
Yeah.
Dropping that tea.
But the connection continues a little bit, so it's just it's
Okay.
very odd in that way, man. It's very cool. I
Yeah.
like, and so again, it's just another little pin in the story between you and I and our
Yeah, yeah,
history. And
yeah.
it's cool having you guys on. I miss Dill, man. He was great fucking handball player. That's all I remember. Like goddamn. I always. Me with the handball. I was always trying to go hard. But man, I came in
Yeah, yeah.
contact with this motherfucker. I was like, God damn. Still had one over me on that. And talented dude, obviously. So you guys coming from Grover, Grover, Cleveland, just crazy times back then, crazy times, man. I'll never forget being in your graduating yearbook, with our buddy, Wook. I don't know where that guy is anymore these days. I don't know if you've
I
stayed
think
in
he still
contact.
works at I think he still works at that
The
store.
skateboard shop over there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't want to dox him, but yeah, I think he
Is he
still
really
works
there?
there. I think
Yeah,
I've seen him. I
yeah.
don't know. I haven't been there
I
in a
never,
long time, but
yeah, I
I
never
feel
go
like
around that way. Yeah.
the last time I saw him, it was in there.
What's that shop called? What's the name of that spot? Right on.
Should
Is
we
there
dox
like
him?
a
I don't know.
what happened?
Should
It
we dox
doesn't.
him? I don't know.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like he just he owes
I
he
think
owes
it was
my
a
he owes my mother money.
sideshow.
Like,
Sideshow. That
yeah.
motherfucker owes me $20.
He owes my mother like 2 grand, bro. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I heard
So
about that.
yeah,
Yo, find
yeah.
his ass. He's at Sideshow. Find
Side
him.
pull up.
Run up on him with the whole crew. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what's so sad about that situation? Because he was such a good artist. He was such a great artist. He
Oh
was
yeah,
really good at drawing.
phenomenal. Yeah, drawing. Yeah.
Really, really good artist.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just funny with the way he moved sometimes, I guess.
He's a funny dude, man. Funny
Yeah.
dude. Always was. That's just
Yeah.
it was walk, man. I don't know. Like, there's just people like that. I don't know. I don't have any hard feelings or whatever. I know kind of a weird
Yeah.
sour situation with my mom, my brother, all that.
Yeah.
For the listener out there, the particular person we're talking about lived with my brother for a little bit. Me and Steve here, we're friends with him for many many years, close friends, and it just kind of like fell apart in a way. These things
Yeah.
happen, man. It just I don't look back on it, man, like like fuck that dude, like I don't have those type of resentful
It's
thoughts or
just
anything.
not worth it, man.
No,
That
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's better to use that bandwidth for something else, something positive. It's not even worth dwelling on stuff like that. Like we all make
No,
mistakes. We've all fucked up. And we've all done people dirty here and there, and unfortunately, there's always an opportunity to make things right, but you can't hold it against them. Not everybody thinks the way that you do. Not everybody, he grew up very differently than we did. His whole upbringing and the scenario that he came from, so it's just you don't want to make excuses for people. Like obviously, it's not an excuse to do, but you kind of it's like you try to see the whole picture. You try
for
not to
sure.
just dwell on the thing.
If I seen him right now on the street, walking down, I would say what up. I actually think we did run
Yeah.
into each other like like the last time we ever did. I don't know, it was years ago now. Probably
Yeah.
almost 10 plus years maybe. Yeah, I don't think like he kind of like cold shouldered me a little bit. I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah,
Oh, he dubbed me. Oh, he
yeah,
dubbed me.
yeah. So
Oh,
it's like, all
he
right, cool.
dubbed me. It's like he broke up with me and then he he cheated on me with you. and he
Yeah.
left me for you.
Oh, whatever. Jesus. My God. Yeah, and ultimately left
Anyways,
me as well. So does that make you feel any better? There you go.
left you with yours in your hand too, huh?
Yep. Spit me out, chewed me
Yeah.
up, and spit me out as well.
Uh-huh.
Ay. That's too much. Shout out to Walk though. You're right. He was a phenomenal
Yeah.
artist, man.
Oh no.
We were
God
always
bless.
around.
I hope he's all right.
I hope so too.
I
We
hope
were
he's all right.
always around very good people and that very creative minds. You and me
Yeah.
always surrounded us with people like that, right? Like we didn't waste our energy with people we didn't really truly want to vibe with or wanted to spend our time with. We moved very differently, like you said earlier with your upbringing. You had a lot of acquaintances, but not as many friends ultimately. And
Yeah.
I still feel like it's that way with me. I'm very picky and choosy with who I spend my time with, and or at least my intimate time with in that regards. And it's
Yeah.
obviously a lot more different dynamic now. As an adult with kids, the whole nine. Now I'm
Yeah.
actually
No, for sure.
seeking more connection with others
Yeah.
outside. Like, please
Yeah.
talk to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
100%.
but it is again, it's interesting. You take a look back and reminisce a little bit. And certainly for us, man, we were around a lot of cast of characters. Um,
Yeah.
some stuck, some don't. I mean, that's life. But you know what? It is what it is, man. That's the beauty of
Listen,
it.
everybody has a lesson to teach you, and you can either take it as that or dwell on it.
Yeah, and
That's how I try to look at it.
some people are just not always meant to be a part of your life at that
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
time. Like they may be just there for certain periods. Even when it
Yeah.
comes to you and I, we've had periods, right? We've had certain
Right.
stretches and periods throughout our life where we're together, we're not together for whatever reason, and it just
Yeah.
here we are now. And
Yeah.
it's always full circle. It's always a beautiful thing, and that's why we're considered lifelong friends. It's just because we're always
Right.
finding
Yep.
our way, back to each other. All right.
Yeah.
I almost, forgot because we're just in conversation the whole time. Let's get to
Yeah.
it. Let's debut one of your songs. I was playing clips as you were talking a little bit earlier there. So as the viewers watching us, they're seeing a little background of you in tribal tone a little bit. But we want to hear some stuff. So should I play the Angels Cry or should I play the Komu song? Since we're on the topic of tribal tone, maybe we'll go to Angels Cry. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's do Angels Cry. Before we do that, real quick, I just want to say that uh, Tribal Tone, it's I like to what I like to push as a brand is alternative hip hop. Like that's the overarching genre. Like we have a lot of heavy hip hop and rap, undertones and stuff, but we don't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of Tribal Tone is to create a musical tribe that everybody can be a part of, and then also tone meaning like there's all different tones, and we as a group we don't limit ourselves to just hip hop. Like we do a little bit of everything. We do. We have some pop songs. We have some more rock like songs. We have reggaeton in Spanish. We
Mm-hmm.
have R&B type of songs. We have a little bit of everything. We don't just limit our. ODL has like electronic songs out that are amazing. So we do a little bit of everything, and a lot of the things that we tackle in our music, it's not the surface level, the kind of shit that sells, sex, drugs, and violence. Like there's a little bit of that, but it's more of reflection. Like our music is more. There's a lot of religious undertones in it. It's more about redemption. It's more about self-reflection and taking responsibility for yourself. And even if we come from a checkered past or we've been in bad scenarios or whatever, always just trying to do what's right or trying to make, become better from whatever things that we come from or did or in the past. So our music is more if there was like a self-help genre, I would say like that's a little bit more of like what our music's like
Mhm.
with along with the hip hop. But yeah, it's not just your casual, surface level stuff. It goes it goes a little bit deeper. So
No,
hopefully that shines through.
no trap music. You're not into the whole trap thing, you guys?
No, like there was one trap song that I tried to kind of do, but nah.
or
You know what? That whole
or even drill rap. I can't. You're not into the whole drill rap
uh,
scene.
yeah, I tried, but
I'm
it's just
sure
not
you
my
did
vibration,
actually.
bro. It's not my vibration, bro. It's the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, there's some things to appreciate from it, but I feel like that whole genre kind of just comes from a negative place.
Oh,
A lot of
you
it.
kind of think so? Yeah, it is. It's rooted
Yeah,
in
yeah,
evil. Yeah.
just a tad, just a
Yeah.
tad.
That's I jokingly, ask you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So it's completely rooted in evil. That's there's no ifs fans. At least the if you're talking about the very genre of like drill rap or
right.
anything, trap maybe not. So trap's just it's a mixed bag a little
It's a
bit.
vibe. It's a different
Yeah,
vibe. Yeah,
yeah,
I know.
but eh, not my
But
thing
yeah,
really.
Angels Cry. Angels Cry is one of our recent single drops. It's going to be part of our new album that'll be coming out to be announced. Roots is the name of it. It's going to be the name of the new album. And yeah, this particular song is one of the singles that we dropped to promote this album that we're going to be coming out with. So I hope you all enjoy.
And here you go. Here's that very song right now.
ODL, travel tone. Watch it go a little something like this. Gotta lay this down to rest. Gotta get this off my chest. Can't forget that I am blessed. Gotta write whatever's left. Can't forget that I always choose. Walk a mile in these shoes. Size 12 when I'm in these boots. In the booth, I'm getting loose. Transduce when I'm off the goose. Hit it proof when I'm sipping Zeus. Switching lanes when I'm in the coupe. So she flows when I'm in the stoop. In front of him, in front of you. Watch it burn like fire do. Let it burn, let it burn. About time we can take it a little higher. About time we can take a little fire. About time we can take a little smoke break. Token of the token, token, little token. Won't you bring it back around when you bring it downtown? Got you fucking with the sound. Finally figured it all out. Now we chilling in the breeze when we smoking on the trees. Gotta light it with the heat. Won't you listen? Won't you please? Won't you bring it back around when you bring it downtown? Got you fucking with the sound. Finally figured it all out. Now we chilling in the breeze when we smoking on the trees. Gotta light it with the heat. Won't you listen? Won't you please? Listen to me or you follow Lolita. Gripping that cross, boy, I think you need this. Yes, I think we need people around us to teach us to exercise demons and mixing up pieces. To tell us the secrets of that kind of people. So shake us all up on the pot, on the stove. And don't forget to choose how it goes when you're gone. Think you're so tough when you're smoking on the strong. Wave to all the people like you mowing the lawn. Yeah, now pop the lights on, now you walking through a fog. Now she pop them damn things like they pee, I'm telling all. And I don't know why this shit happens to me. And this is by choice and the path that I seek. You hear all that noise and the strings that go please. Make angels that cry in the sky that I see. Straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper. Never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it. Straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper, straight up to the topper. Never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it. You see me different faces, I change them with the races. The human race is racist, the knowledge comes replace it. The wisdom comes in old, the challenge of a foe. The shadows will unfold when people feel they soul, but people feel themselves with toxic human wealth. The dollar masquerade as people pass the day, then people pass away. I sit and ask sometimes, when is it time to say? When is it time to pray? Never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it. To the top, straight up to the top, straight up to the top, straight up to the top. Never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it, never gonna stop it. Straight up to the top, 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 straight up to the. I hear them angels crying. Ooh, they got my people down. we acting like we good, but we really ain't. With all the hate and all the lies, maybe it's some of us are blind or just can't relate. But like a soldier in a war that's never over and it's getting colder every day. And if you say I wanna change, I need to demonstrate. You need to change for change. Play no games. Put it on the table.
Yo, my mom is blowing up my phone right now. Jesus.
This is Angel's Cry by Tribal Tone. Hope you enjoyed it. It's a journey. It's always a journey. With any Komu or Tribal Tone song, check them out right now. You can find them on YouTube. What other platform? Pretty much anywhere you can find them, right, Steve? Where you at?
Yeah, anywhere you listen to your music, whether that's Spotify, YouTube, we're on every platform. You can find us.
All right. We're going to play one more for you. All right. And this is highlighting another, not only my good friend here, Komu, Steve, but another friend of ours growing up from way years back, who's in his own right a phenomenal musician. Name is Mike. I know he does a lot of voice acting now. He's doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's doing movies. He's doing the whole
Right.
acting thing,
Yeah.
man. He's out there in Hollywood, bro.
Yeah. You know what? I might even have to, find a way to connect with him. I'm going to Cali in next week, and I'm going down there. I don't know if
Definitely.
you'd be
Hit
interested.
him up, Maku.
Yeah.
Maku. Maku Music,
Yeah.
I think is his main page.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I
Wake up
got
with
it
him.
right here for you guys. Yeah, I should hit him up, man. It's been a minute since me and him have talked, but I mean, no, again, not like a bad blood situation. He's just been out there doing his own thing,
Yeah.
and it's nice to see you guys, staying in touch and collaborating and doing some stuff. When's the last you heard from him? Has it been a minute?
I saw him. Yeah, the last time he came to New York, because he lives out in Cali. He came to New York like last year, and we hung out for a day. He came through, and we hung out for a little bit. Every now and then he tries to make his way back over here, and he'll hit me up and be like, "Yo, let's hang out." And
Yeah.
we usually we usually chill out. I show him whatever new music thing. Bro, like that dude, he should just be doing music, but it is what it
Yeah,
is.
he was
Like
always great.
he was one of the OGs where I was like, this is a dude I gotta make music with, But he always had his own trajectory, and there's no stopping it. All he could do is just be proud of everything that he's accomplished. Guy has a work ethic just better than mine. And discipline, like he's that dude. Like I wish I had half the discipline that he had growing up. Because if I had, I probably would have gotten way more shit done in my life. That dude was always on point, whether it was guitar, whether it was swimming, whether it was school. Like he just knew how to balance all those things, and not just like balance them and then be terrible at them at every one. No, he balanced them, and he did great at everything that he tried to do. And to this day, man, I mean, he's got commercials, he's got movies, he's got shows, he's got games he's a part of. Like that dude is just working his ass off, and you know what? God bless him. He deserves all the success in the world.
Yeah. Check it out. This one is coming off the YouTube page as well from Komu's YouTube page. All right, you can get similar handle. Komu
Yeah.
0001 on YouTube.
Yeah, so this song is the second solo drop that I did. It's my one personal song. And there's a little bit of screaming, some rap, some singing, and basically this entire song is about finding my wife in the modern dating era and just basically taking responsibility as a man, taking care of my family, and then just kind of just that sort of dynamic. Just because the dating market in our generation and things that are going on now, it's got people messed up, to say the least. So yeah, I put this video together. I put some lyrics behind it and all that stuff, so you can see what I'm saying and stuff. But yeah, this was dedicated to my wife.
It's all about the money, makes the world go round. I'm dizzy, I'm responsible, I'm busy,
Beautiful, the
I'm
melody.
responsible. To know that it's all
Thank you.
about the money. Makes the world go round. I'm dizzy. I'm responsible. I'm busy. Sometimes you think
And
I'm about
having
them fake
and
digital
Mike's or
hoes. Never mind those
Malcolm's
real foes that
acoustic
be
over
posing
it
on
as
no
well
foes.
is a
Only
nice little
fans and
touch.
Insta hoes that be sliding
I
on
always
them
felt like he
foes.
was
He
Cash
can't
great.
in on
beat that
beauty
live
goals
music, man.
while the Sims
Yeah.
kissing their toes. Yeah.
You can't beat that live music, man.
I must be crazy, cause I can see the light.
Yeah, Mike
I
is one of
must
the
be
most
crazy,
talented music. Like that dude, he can
glad you're
listen. He
by
can
my
play
side.
anything, improvise anything. He
Mm.
can follow. He can play with new artists, and it's as if he's been playing with them forever. Like that dude, when it comes to music, he's one of the best I've ever met.
That was a really awesome song. Cool for me to see it. Just knowing you guys for as long as I have, and just seeing you guys do your thing, man. That's it makes me jealous in a way. I wish I had that talent. I have an ear for music. I always like to think, but when it came to actually making it, nope. Yeah. I've tried. I've tried writing.
Well, you did some
you
writing.
know, I did.
Yeah, you
I
did some
I can
writing here and
write.
there.
I
I
can
remember.
write, but I that's about what I
Yeah,
can do. And if I really wanted
yeah,
to, I could. I'm sure I could now. I think I like. I'm pretty sure I could. I'm not tone deaf. I could hold a tune too. But
yeah.
I think that's
It
just
ain't it ain't
because of
much
my.
different.
Yeah, I know. I
It ain't
know.
much different, man. It's just writing and then just having the background song to it, just finding the beat and you find your way. You find
I,
your
ne-
way in it.
I
You
need
know.
help though. I need like a little bit of pushing along. I need a little bit of training, and or just somebody that is a little bit more inclined when it comes to it. I like even if I had like a ghostwriter, you give me a ghostwriter, whatever. I'm pretty sure I could. You give me a nice beat that works with my vocal tone. Sure, we could piece something together.
Yeah.
I've thought about like doing my own thing for like an intro song. I've reached out to you in the past for your little intro music as well. Still would love to collab
Yeah.
with that. I would, I've revamped my music over the years for the show. But yeah, I listen. I like I said, I like to think I have a bit of an ear for music, and
Yeah.
I love hearing you guys. That song in particular is awesome. Um, I love it when you
Well,
sing.
thank
That
you. Appreciate it.
probably my favorite when you sing. I like when you rap too, but I think when you sing, I don't know something about it. And also your Spanish stuff. You should do more Spanish stuff.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. I
Yeah.
love it, man.
It's funny because like I have this thing where like obviously I grew up American and I consider myself American and my first language is English.
Yeah.
I do know how to speak Spanish, obviously, and due to my parents, like my parents just, my mom never really learned English, so I
Mm.
kind of was forced to. But it's funny because like I do write in English and I do my best stuff in English, but I found that when I do Spanish songs, there's something there's something deep, like a root in there that like there's like it's like natural to doing it in Spanish and it's yeah, I definitely gonna do more Spanish stuff for sure.
Yeah, like just drop a whole freaking Spanish album. Fuck it. Just
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have to be
I got some
18
Spanish
songs.
songs on there. Yeah, yeah.
It
No,
doesn't
I
have
got
to
some
be
Spanish
18
songs
songs.
out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, but it doesn't have to be 18. So, a little fucking 12 song. Let's go, A little-
Yeah, yeah. A little
uh,
EP, six song drop EP.
yeah, man. There you go. Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Um, Listen, we don't have to.
I gotta get in contact with Steve with
Let's go, bro. We can. He's got a full studio over there. You want to lay down some shit? You want to do something? Let's
let's
go.
let
We're
I
ready.
gotta hang with the dude man. I
You
gotta
know.
hang with the dude man. Have a hoopty
I've been trying to get another friend of mine. Let's go. We got shit to do. I've been telling them I'm down to go over there and record some stuff for the show. Really
Yeah.
if you're interested, I'll be willing to bring you along too. You can if you
Yeah.
have anything your stuff in mind, that is the guy to talk to. You want to talk about feedback and or just somebody to create something with. Yeah, he's all about it. I asked him for a new intro and in less than 24 hours, he had it ready for me. And like I was like, ah,
Nice.
yeah, fuck it, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, like there's more I want to do, and add to it, but like I was like, yeah, temporarily, like it's just awesome. Um, yeah, man, you let me know. I'll make it happen and connect you guys. ODL too. You
Sure.
guys are more than welcome to come through and throw down. Could really make some magic happen. I believe it. I would love to just be a witness to that. Yeah, I'd be that guy in the corner, like, yeah, that shit sounds good right there. Yeah.
I
That's
was
that's
there.
that's my
I was
contribution
there when
to
they did that song.
the.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right, I fuck with that. um, before we got out of here, again, it's been a good episode. It's been fun talking to you as always, catching up. It's been a
Definitely.
long time. And again, anybody that's watching live with us on Twitch, YouTube, please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're watching in the post-edited version, I appreciate you for watching. Keep showing up as always. Um, the core of this show was rooted in sports. It's kind of been transformed over the years, and now I really look at it as just a platform, as a show where I bring up, guests on and I highlight them and their achievements and what they do in their careers. And that's where get most fun. I could always come on here and talk sports. There's a lot going on right now in the sports world. Obviously, the city's still, getting over a New York Knicks championship. We got the World Cup going on. Baseball's in the heat of summer and all that. Colombia, as we speak, is playing. Who the hell knows what's going on with that? There was a great one of the all-time classic World Cup games that just occurred earlier today, prior to the show. Argentina and Cape Verde. Cape Verde almost pulling the stunning upset against Argentina, although Messi and Argentina find a way to hold on and win in extra time. Um, would love to hear your sports take if you have any. Who do you align with? Again, for the viewer out there, let them know. Um, I know you're not like a huge sports fan. You're a huge sports guy, but I know you follow. You got some. You actually like a little bit of football too. You're more physical contact guy, right? You like the combat sports, right? Mostly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sports for me, like my relationship with sports is I rather play them than watch them, to be honest. But action
Yeah.
sport like football has been more of my bag of like things that I would watch or follow and stuff like that. I my team combination is Jets, Yankees, and Knicks. So like those are my sports teams when it comes to that. But yeah, I can't say that I follow it too much. But my sports take, I kind of long for the days. I mean, it's not so much anymore like this, but I long for the days when sports was like an escape where people could just enjoy it, where it
Mm.
wasn't filled with political stuff, it wasn't filled with statements and none of that stuff. It was just, hey man, it's just the love of the game and the love of the camaraderie around everybody around you and stuff. I kind of miss those days, and not having to make a message out of everything. Um, but I think what when it comes to sports and what take I have on it is I'm like worried about it. Where there's there's a cultural fabric, there's a social fabric, and sports has always been a part of that. It's always been a part of American culture, whether it was baseball, football, whatever the case. Um, and I just feel like we've gotten into a time where a lot of that has been corrupted. I
Mm.
feel like sports was always about money. It's a business. It is what it is. It's all about the
E-
bottom line and stuff for
Even more
them.
so now than ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but what worries me about it is that it's become more and more like that. And now couple that with, sports betting and how big that's been getting, and
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's kind of like an unspoken just drift that's happening right now that we're not even going to know the full effects of until later down the line. And my fear with sports is that it's getting bogged down with that sort of like, whether it's, the betting, whether it's games getting, messed with, whether it's players or whatever. It's getting into a really weird place where it's just not the love for the sport anymore. It's like
Mm.
everyone trying to scam another dollar, and it almost ruins. It makes you wonder, like, is this game really what I'm seeing, or is this a show that's being put on for me? Because,
Yeah.
the enjoyment of sports is meaning that anything can happen at any time, anyone can win. If they work, things happen, luck, blah blah blah. You can train as much as you want, but sometimes luck is the part, and that's what makes it exciting. So for me, I just worry that one of those cultural glues, which is sports, it being corrupted into this sort of trying to make money scam while a lot of people's lives are being ruined at the same time. Because, dude, let's be real, betting is a very, very addictive, very, very
Hmm.
destructive vice, and
No
is
doubt.
very hard for people to kick. So to take something that, people genuinely love, people genuinely grew up with, people genuinely, it's supposed to be a human thing. There's something that's become so corporatized about it, and
Hmm.
just so money driven that it's just like, it makes you wonder, like, am I watching what I'm watching, or is this a show being put on for me? So that's my take. I can, while I'm not a person who follows many sports or is like, that's my world, I can appreciate what it is, and I can appreciate what it means to people.
Hmm.
And for me, I just worry about that because we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot. There's the cultural glue. Like, everybody's been kind of isolated in their own worlds, and there's no social fabric like there was before. Not like in the way that we grew up. So that's my worry. I don't
I
know
think,
if that's,
yeah, I think it's a great take,
yeah,
bro. I think it's a phenomenal take. I do, and yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. And we've touched on this a little bit, what the betting impact, and it has completely changed the landscape of sports. There's no if and buts
yeah,
about it. You can't tell
yeah,
me otherwise. As somebody that frequently comes on here and talks sports, we know what's going on. We hear the stories. We see it a lot with the NBA now with Kalshi, the new Kalshi app. I mean, we're seeing
yeah, man. Power
insider
markets, all this
trading.
shit.
We're seeing insider
Yeah,
trading. We're seeing influence with celebrities. I mean, the fact that Kalshi is able to sign big time contracts with superstar athletes, um,
hmm,
and they're dictating numbers and markets and things like that. That is an issue. I mean, the whole Giannis Antetokounmpo situation was it just the biggest red flag for me because there was a lot of trade rumors around him at the time going on, and there was big bets being placed on Kalshi. Next thing you know, you
yeah,
hear days later that he partners up. He collabs with Kalshi. He signs a big time contract, gets paid, guaranteed money for him. Meanwhile, there's live betting, there's trading going on, whether or not he's going to this team or to that team, and it ultimately to go absolutely fucking nowhere. And I'm sure hundreds of thousands of lives, maybe more, millions potentially affected by this type of insider trading. Because how is that even legal? I don't even know how that's should be allowed. And that's not even on a game scenario. That's on a what if of where this player is potentially going or not. Did we lose you, Steve? Are you there? Okay, your camera cut out there a little bit. Um, so
I'm back now. I'm back now.
yeah,
My
you're good.
apologies.
Nah, it's all good. This is the world we're living in. We're hearing Malik Beasley getting in trouble, with inside trading, where he's, shaving points or, grabbing an extra rebound in garbage time or whatever. And this is just
Right.
only basketball that I'm referencing. I mean, it has to be widespread across all sports. And at the end of the day,
Yeah,
you
man.
touched on it, bro. You know, it's an entertainment business. Therefore, entertainment. There's no doubt certain outcomes, certain games are a bit dictated on the entertainment value. I'm not, It
Yeah.
may not be the decisive factor. Ultimately, I think talent prevails, but that might not always be the case. You
Right.
know, that might not always be the case, and there could be a little something fishy going on the side. It really makes you question as the viewer. Yeah, is this even genuine? Is this a, that's why you might seek elsewhere, independent league stuff, lower league
Right.
stuff. Even you can't even look at college the same way anymore
No, bro, it's the
with
same thing.
the way
Yeah.
they're being paid. Like that in
Yeah.
itself has changed. At least in the past, you could look at college football, basketball, baseball, and say, yeah, he- here's the real sport, right? It's a real
Right.
genuine, people there, there they cared. Kids stayed longer in college, 4 years, 3 years, and got an
Yeah.
education while caring about the sport that they're playing, not really giving a fuck about the money. Now, I
Yeah.
mean, you have straight up former NBA players who didn't quite pan out going back to college to play for
Mm.
college and signing these big
Right.
contracts. Like,
Right. Right.
so I'm essentially watching it's the NBA 2.0 over here. It's not even college anymore. Like, what is it?
Right.
Like, that to me is I don't even watch it. That in itself
Right.
because of it.
Well, that
Um, you know,
that's the crazy thing about the whole college thing too, because that was a big kind of scandal and like kind of debate. Is it's a multi-million, possibly even billion-dollar corporation
no
at this
doubt.
point,
Yeah.
and like
NCAA for
and
sure.
like
Yeah.
and they're doing it off the back of kids, and they're not paying them. They're not like that was a whole debate
Yeah,
I know a
but
little
now
while
they're getting
ago,
paid.
but now they're getting paid, right? Exactly. So
Yeah.
it takes time for these things to catch up. But yeah, so that for me, there's like I said, like there's very little things that like a social glue. There's a social fabric that keeps everyone's together, and it's like take for example, if people don't believe in elections, if they don't believe that
Mm.
you can elect people into government, and they think it's a rigged and a scam, what happens? Same thing goes for sport. If people think it's rigged and it's a scam and it's not real, what's going to happen,
Right,
So,
right.
and especially for something that is like an escape for people, something that you had a long day, and like you worked your ass off, now you just want to come home and enjoy a something that you grew up with, something that you can get a couple friends and then hang out and have a good time and stuff. And you don't want to have social political messaging jammed down your throat with every commercial or every thing that they're doing to virtue signal. You don't want to be bogged down with like, oh, this is all a money game and it's not real. Like you don't want any. Like you want to enjoy and appreciate the thing for what it is, which is it's mostly camaraderie. I mean, these are recreational war games. Like there's something so like just human and intrinsic to us, the team sport and all of that. So it's just something that you know it's hard to like really encapsulate, but it just like for me, I just worry about it because I know foundationally like that's one of those things that like music, like even like before all the streaming services and stuff, like there was a shared culture with like movies. Like everybody saw the same movies, everybody saw the same shows, they all kind of talked about, and like we had that cohesion. And now everyone's kind of like siloed off into their own echo chambers and the things that they like and this and that, and there's not that same cohesion. And sports still has an element of that, but
Mm.
it's like every day that goes by, it feels like that's kind of like slipping through the cracks.
I don't know why my mind went here, but it just popped in my head. And obviously, you know what? We're gonna be getting out of here shortly. Again, it's good to hear that sports take. It's a very, I would say, uncommon take that I hear on this show, and it's awesome to hear that perspective from you, who, what average sports fan at best, right? But
Yeah.
it's your that outside perspective looking in, and it's interesting to hear that. What are your thoughts? And I'm sure you have some. You have to, and I'm very interested to see. And this could be the last topic of the show. By the way, I just want to shout out Sergeet on YouTube. Thank you for showing. I appreciate you. Uh, glad that you like the topics we were talking about. I'm glad that you were listening
So,
along.
brother.
Keep showing up. What are your thoughts about AI, the whole revolution, what its impact it's had on music with now AI artists signing labels, making music, just these, artificial artists out there just, doing their thing. What are your thoughts on AI usage, when it comes to creating content? I would love to hear your take on that.
So I think at this point the genie's out of the bottle, and there's nothing anybody can do it. And
Hmm.
it's one of those things where either you can adapt to the new landscape,
Hmm.
or you can just scream to the sky and bitch to the sky, and nothing will happen because it's still going to be here whether you like it or not. There's some wonderful opportunities with the AI stuff. There's wonderful opportunities for people who aren't musically inclined to get their writing out there, to get the sounds in their heads out there. You know, there's a lot of beautiful opportunity for hearing things in a different light. Like, you'll hear a 1940s version of like, a 50 Cent song, and
Hmm.
like it sounds amazing, and there's definitely a lot of cool stuff that can be done. I worry about oversaturation, and I worry about, when it comes to the AI stuff, oversaturation, and just kind of like, you know music is very human.
Hmm.
It's from the soul. It's very intrinsic to us, and I always looked at music as a universal language. And when it comes to AI, thing that's important is to understand where it's being programmed from, what's behind the programming,
Hmm.
and the person programming it, but as well as, just, how do I put it? All right, well, let me come up at this way. For me, the AI stuff presents an opportunity. And because there's an oversaturation, because there's so much stuff out there, it's hard to find good music. If you got to go sort through a lot of stuff to get to things that you actually like. What I can appreciate about this sort of like sinking ship sort of scenario is that it really amplifies the authentic artists. It really
Hmm.
amplifies the people who have, actual instrumental musicians, or like writers who are actually doing it. So for me, it's presented an opportunity to be as authentic, because nowadays, because people are so inundated with AI and stuff that's just
Yeah.
fake. It's
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
real. It's stuff that it highlights, and it puts a spotlight on people who are actually doing the thing, who are actually bringing their authentic selves into it, and and it shines through.
I
Um,
can I touch on that real quick? Uh,
yeah, yeah,
I agree with you. I do.
yeah,
Like it totally is this. I think that, and we'll see it more so going forward. I think there's going to be a revolution of or just organic content, right? Like people are
yeah,
really going to shift towards that. Here's the problem: like you people like you and me, yeah, we'll be able to fish through the bullshit. We'll be able to see, and understand what's real, what's not. There's certain generations, you know, 45, 50, 60 up right now where like they're completely lost in the sauce. They don't even know what's what. And it's like,
right,
you know, we've almost lost them to this technology, and
yeah,
that's a scary side of it because it's affected the local musician, the local artist,
yeah,
where because they're so easily convinced. I mean, my mom does it all the time. Sends me shit. Oh yeah, like this, and listen to this song. Oh, isn't this cool? I'm like, Ma, it's fucking fake. I don't even like. It's not even,
yeah, 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 yeah,
like, and I'm sorry. I'm on the side of like I've heard those renditions of old Eminem,
yeah,
1950s. It was
yeah,
all, it's cool. It's whatever, but
right.
it's like. I don't particularly get crazy for it. I don't particularly
No,
like it or want to listen for it because it just takes away true creativity and it highlights
yeah,
the artificial. And I'm not a fan. Like I
yeah,
I, I want to see. local artists, local musicians, whatever, come up with a 1950s type rendition song, your own self, and let me hear your
Right.
rendition of it. I think for people like you, I mean, it's not helping you. You could
Yeah.
utilize it to your advantage. I do think there's certain ways to do that. Like
Right. Right.
help your creativity for sure. I think there's a fine line with that, and I guess it's up to the artist to to teeter that line. At the end of the day, it's everybody's idea of what they want to do. I know my my cousin dude. He does a lot of his music videos with AI tech.
Right.
Creates a lot of his stuff. I'm not necessarily super in love with the idea of it, because in my head it's like, oh well, I much prefer to see like clips of you, like on stage or walking in the fucking park, like, or just coming up with your own type of music video as opposed to like seeing the AI rendition of what is your vision. I don't know. To
Right.
me, it seems rather lazy in nature.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
totally understand where you're coming from,
yeah.
and like I said, it's something that's emergent. It's something that no matter what, the genie's out of the bottle. It's here. It's only gonna progress
Mm,
in that direction, and it definitely there's an opportunity for real artists to amplify or maybe do things where they needed a whole studio behind them or they needed other people involved to get it done where now they can just get it done themselves. So there's definitely some good opportunities for it. The only thing that for me, and it touches upon what you're saying, it just feels like if you can get a program to do it for you
mm,
and you didn't like work your ass off and train your voice or work your ass off writing all the time or like work your ass off to just like play an instrument and learn it and become a musician,
mm.
like it feels like a shortcut. It feels
Oh,
like you're
for
you're
sure.
trying to
Yeah.
cut through all the hard work of it and not grinding that time and then like and it shows like it's hollow. The things that get presented are, there's something missing. It's like you hear all the good stuff in it, but there's that essence that's missing.
It's
There's
the
that
human
it
element.
just
It's the human
yeah,
element. Yeah.
exactly. So that's what it really boils down to. There's opportunity for it, but it really is that human element that makes music what it is. And yeah, so that's my worry when it comes to the AI stuff.
Yeah, I just don't really like how, like people are just profiting off of
It's
it.
just like
And
everyone's
yeah,
special now. No one's special. Everyone's special. Everyone gets to be special.
yeah.
There's no one special anymore.
Yeah.
you know?
It does feel that way, and it's certainly oversaturated. And it's a shame,
Yeah.
it's just because it just wasn't that way.
Yeah.
That's
And because of that oversaturation, a lot of good, authentic, good stuff gets lost.
mm,
You know?
yeah.
So
That's why it's important to experience. I think I heard somebody bring this up lately. I like live music is gonna become people are gonna seek it out more. Like you said, the human
oh
element.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
I think because of all this, people are gonna get away from that. At some point, there's gonna be a
Yeah.
major shift. It's like
Yeah.
we're gonna want to get away. I mean, I'm already seeing it now. Like you see the younger generations actually organizing their own. They're so cute, organizing their own events where there's no phones.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody shuts off their phones. And now we're all just talking to each other and we're all just doing shit
right,
and
right,
having a
right.
good time. And it's like that was our just life growing up and all that, and it's
Yeah.
cool. But it's showing you that people are seeking that genuine connection, and music is
Yeah.
always at the core of that. you know we mentioned it earlier on the show, the impact of music on our lives. Safe to say, you said it. You may not be here if it wasn't for music. I've said it on previous episodes on the mental health show before. I almost guarantee you music saved my life on several occasions. um
Yeah.
to see artificial intelligence come to light and have an impact like it has on the music industry, I hate it. It bothers me a
Yeah,
lot.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As good as it may sound and this and that, it's just it's lacking that human element, and that is where the
yeah,
problem lies. And I'll take a live show and just genuine original creativity over that shit any day.
yeah.
I was fortunate enough to see Santana last night at Jones Beach.
Nice.
Seen him for the third time. The Doobie Brothers opened up for him.
Yeah,
It's nothing like it. I mean, even the 80-year-old, I think he's 83 now, Santana. Himself, up there sitting, playing his music, not really moving around, not really jiving like he once used to. But man, can he really transform you to that place with those fingers.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
there's nothing like it. It's a beautiful thing. And
Yeah,
I just hope that doesn't get lost. I don't think it will. I think we'll find our way. It's gonna be weird though. I don't know with this whole AI thing and But like you said, I agree. I guess there is a certain space for it as well. Even we look at it outside of just music, healthcare, things like that. There's certain advancement. There's certain practical
yeah.
uses for this type of technology that can be very useful, to society. So
That's
it's
like
a
any
weird
technology.
fine line.
It can either uplift us or it can destroy us, just
Mm,
like any other technology
right,
that's emergent.
right. Most likely destroy us, but
Yeah, yeah. If we're not kidding ourselves, yeah,
all
that's
right,
for
bro.
sure.
Um, we're getting out of here. We're almost coming up a little shy of 2 hours tonight. Again,
Oh, there we go.
I just want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I would love to have you come on again in the future, whatever you got going on, any singles you want to talk about, whatever. It's just or you just want to you have the time, you want to come on chat. I'd love to do like a little live music. We could get that done at some
Yeah, why
point.
not?
We'll get that done. And if any of the other guys are willing to come on as well, ODL, any of the other members, of Tribal Tone, I'd be more than happy. We can even do it in person, make that happen as well. Uh, any closing comments for the people? We've touched on a lot of stuff tonight. I think I'm good, in regards to what I've asked you, but I always like to ask my guests before we head out of here. Any closing comments for the masses, or just anything you'd like to say? That's fine.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you again for having me on. It's been a pleasure. It's great to see that your progression as well. I want to give a quick shout out to you as well. I don't know if people understand, you know, your journey and everything you've gone through. You say you're an open book, so they might know what's been going on. But I just want you to know that you've always been an inspiration to me, and in terms of like how you've turned things around in your life, and you know, you went from being a person who smoked packs and packs of cigarettes and like that was your life for a while and blah 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 and now you turned it around and you do marathons all the time. So it's like anybody who thinks they're too deep in it or it's too late or whatever, it's like, no, buddy, you can start today. And just seeing your progression and the things that you've been trying to do, I've always admired it, and I have a lot of respect for it. And yeah, bro, I don't know how you still got a dad bod after running hundreds and hundreds of miles, but dude, like you've definitely taken your life back, you've taken your health back, and it's a very commendable thing. And I just want everybody to know if they didn't think of that, like, dude, it's very impressive, and I'm very proud of you. Um, I guess any other closing statements I have is that you know you can find all of our music, Tribal Tone. Uh, you can find us on our Instagram. I know you put up the handles, but at tribal.tone. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your music. You can find us. We're on all platforms. And the first project we had was Money, Prayers, and Madness. That was our first album. Our second album was Queen's Renaissance, and we're currently working on our third album, which will be Roots. That'll be coming sometime in the future. And we also have all our own solo albums that we're working on to be announced, but it's definitely in the works. I guess the only last thing I would touch upon with last closing statement is that, you know, Komu and the music, there's two sides of it. So there's the music side, and then there's also this side right here. So this is my character that I created. So not only is it my stage name, but it's actually an anime character I created. I have a whole 10 episode EP, just 10 episode story on it. I have a whole origin story behind it, and I'm hoping that uh, as I get things together, as I get more resources, and bring my network out more, I'll be able to bring that project to life more. You know, I want to get a graphic novel done. I want to get it animated and all that stuff. But yeah, so just if you're following me, you'll know that this is a big part of it. And yeah, man, this is just like a Star Wars type of universe, just contemporary thing that I came up with that I think everybody would like that they'd get into, and it's riddled with conspiracies and aliens and all that good stuff. So I hope that I can get that out, and yeah. So I just wanted to mention that since I didn't really mention it throughout this whole interview, but yeah, man, no, it was a pleasure being here. I really appreciate your time. I really have none but love and respect for your progression and your work. And yeah, man, anytime you want to have me, I'm definitely down to pull up and talk some politic with you some more for sure.
I appreciate that, and I apologize that we didn't get more into the character of Como there. We did
I don't worry about
obviously touch on a lot of the subjects tonight. And by the way, Dad bod, listen, I run a lot of miles, but I eat a lot of tacos too. So it's just a lot of
It's all right. It's a
lot of
beautiful
late
thing.
night dinners. It is what it is. But hey,
You
listen,
gotta enjoy life too. You
I
work hard enough. You gotta enjoy it too.
no, I no regrets there. I'm Forrest Gump when it comes to it. You may run faster than
I,
me, but
I,
you won't
I
run
like
longer than
I
me.
like some food too, so
All
it's
right,
all good.
it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm not, it believe it. I and people get crazy with that because it's like I've heard that before, and I'm like, you got to understand, like if I wanted a six pack, believe me, I would. You know how much
Yeah,
dedication it takes to run thousands of miles? Like
yeah,
I've done it. I've run 50-mile races, three of them, like, and I'm going to run more, and it's just
yeah,
like if I put that, all the training time that I've put into it, if I just said, I'm not fucking running anymore and I'm just going to do crunches all day. Yeah, I would
yeah,
be
yeah,
ripped, like, and I could do
yeah,
it. It's not a matter of me not wanting to do it. It's just I've devoted my time into, I've prioritized my time a certain way, and that's what it is. I've also prioritized second dinner a lot of fucking times. So, like, yeah, like, listen, it is what it is.
Can
I'm probably leaving this
can
show
I?
tonight. It's 12:03 a.m. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go have a late night snack. There it is, and then I'm gonna wake up at 5:30 in the morning to 6 in the morning and go run. What do I got tomorrow? I think I got like 5-6 miles or something tomorrow. There you go. Yeah.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Can I ask you one question? So all this running you're doing, bro, how are your knees? How are your knees?
Oh, fine.
Yeah? You think the
Yeah,
ice packs
that's a huge.
offsets?
It's a huge misconception. All right. Here's the
Yeah?
thing.
Because I always worry about that. I always worry about the knees.
I mean, listen. If you got bad knees, you got bad knees. They're like just some people have bad fucking knees. I'm not one of
Yeah.
them. Like I've never broken a bone in my body. I have some aches. When I first started my running journey, I used to get shin splints like a mother, but there was a
Yeah.
reason for that. And honestly,
Right.
the reason is certain dynamic stretching and strength training. You need to
Right.
incorporate strength training. So it's like, again, that's something that I do too. I do core workouts. I do stuff to supplement my running. If I just all I did was run all the time, I would actually end up in injury. There's
Yeah.
something as if you're a part of this life and you're doing this thing constantly, you're running marathons, you're running ultra marathons, you'll find out really quick. that
Yeah.
if you want to, run 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, I know guys run 100 miles a week. You put in that type of mileage, yeah, well you're going to have to, put in the work, and it's not only running the miles. It's
Right.
strength training. It's certain stretching and things like that that you have to focus on. So again,
Right.
like, could I incorporate more strength training and less, eating at night? Sure, no doubt. I'm not a perfect person. I'm still learning as I go. But I do it, and right now, I mean, I'm currently averaging easily 30 plus miles a week, and I'm fine. My body's okay. I'm a little
Right.
sore at times, but yeah. Like generally, I have no issues, and I'm very happy. For the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been. Last year was a bit of a up and down journey for me. I ran a lot,
Yeah.
man. I did a lot of marathons. I think was it two ultra marathons and three full marathons. So,
Yeah.
full marathons 26 miles. The two ultras that I did were 50 milers.
Yeah.
So like I did that all in one
You're an
year. I
animal,
mean,
bro.
like all in one year. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
um but here I am, and I had some injury throughout that, whole year, and I mean, kind of like, I'm not really surprised by that, with the amount of volume I was trying to cram in amongst, trying to manage just general life, going to work, with the kids and doing the show, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a perfect training block by any means, but here I am. I've kind of dialed it back a little bit in that sense this year. I'm not running as much races anymore. I'm really focusing on training and then everything else I got going on. So right now, as far as I know, I'm signed up for the New York City Marathon. I'll be running the New York City Marathon for the first time this year, and then
Oh, oh,
I have a for the last year, we started this last year. My wife Dorothy, she signed me up for a random either marathon or ultra marathon. So I have
right.
another race that I'm signed up for on, that I have know nothing about. I don't know where it will be. I don't know when it will
Right.
be. And we're doing that again for the second annual year. I do not recommend that. I'm not doing it for clicks and likes. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
that's you know me, and that's just the crazy person that I am.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I like shit like that. I like to challenge myself. And again, it's
You're a
not,
glutton. You're a
you know,
glutton for punishment.
I am, no doubt about it. It's probably why I got into endurance sports to begin with. I love the pain. I do.
Yeah.
I love
You
hiking. I love being out there for hours and ends of where I'm malnourished. I'm depleting my resources. It's just, I like being in that pain, level. So you were
yeah.
gonna ask something. Yeah.
I did want to ask if you had to put a percentage number on it, how much do you think the ice baths like offset the injury, the maybe the things that could slow you down and doing that sort of
Honestly,
activity?
not a
How
lot.
much?
Not a lot.
No,
You know,
okay. Hmm.
because
I thought that was like the secret. That was like the secret thing, you know?
I wouldn't say it helps, and it certainly
Yeah,
like helps with like inflammation, things like that, recovery.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
here, for example, like I haven't done an ice bath since the winter time, basically. I kind
okay.
of I used to do it. I went on a like a 500-day stretch of ice bath every
Yeah,
day.
I saw. Yeah,
I did
that's
that
why I
for a
brought
while.
it up.
Yeah.
I was wondering if
Um,
that's like that on top of the running, like it just kind of offset it, where it's like, nah, I'm just like rejuvenating myself every time I'm getting in this, and I don't
it,
get injured now because I'm, yeah,
it doesn't hurt. I'll say that. Like, and it
okay,
at the very least it will benefit you in some way. But it I haven't taken an ice bath since, I would say, just about as the winter was ending this year,
okay,
and I've been injury free since. I'm still doing my thing, so it's certainly not, completely necessary, but it's not, unnecessary either, in that way.
yeah,
It's hard to put a percentage of how effective it is in terms of
yeah,
your recovery. It might be like a 50-50 thing, it works for some people, doesn't. I
Right,
like
right,
it.
right,
I
right.
like it because it's kind of therapeutic. To be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with
yeah,
you, it's very meditative.
yeah.
When I was going through that long stretch, of nearly almost 2 years straight of doing it every single day, and I mean I'd be out there in -5 degree weather and thunderstorms and snowstorms, whatever I had to do, I was in that damn bath. The reason why I did
Right,
that was to create my own discipline. I've mentioned this many times on the
right.
show before. Was just I needed to get in that mindset of just put myself into an uncomfortable situation to help my growth and my health and fitness journey. It was just, I don't know. It's just, I woke up one day and I got inspired and seeing other people doing it online and just it was like no, I had to do this. I can't really I can't
Recipe.
really
It became
explain
part of
it.
the recipe.
Yeah, and it was like this is now a part of my routine. It's just it's doing a task every single day, something that I don't necessarily want to do, but I have to do. And it,
Right.
I was always the type that I was never as consistent as I would like to be, and I never
Yeah.
I felt like I went over the top in putting in the work I should have with certain things. There
Right.
was a time in my life I thought I'd be, next Major League Baseball star, and obviously that didn't pan out. And
You were on
not,
your way.
I
You were on
essentially,
your way.
I mean, I was there. I don't know if it would have ever panned out if I focused my energy towards that. You know,
Yeah,
the, the,
if you didn't smoke cigarettes and you dove into it, you would have been, bro. You would have been a baseball player. Let's
I
not
you
kid
know
ourselves.
I
I've seen
hear
you pitch.
I
I've
hear
seen you
people
pitch,
say that.
fucker.
I hear people say that. I kind of disagree. I do. But you know what? I don't know. I do. And it's not like I have a regret on that or anything. I know my capability. You got to remember. I'm like 5'9", 5'10" on a good day. Like so,
Yeah, but I've seen you at your
you know,
games, bro. You were definitely ahead of the league, man.
statistically it would be very unlikely. I'm just throwing that
Yeah,
out there.
but
You know,
yeah,
um, you know,
but you were above average in that realm. So
I
that's the only reason
appreciate
I
you.
say
I
that.
appreciate that. But like
And
again, and the reason why I bring that up is because that was always my youth. That was it was just me. I got into I started smoking cigarettes when I was 13. So weed, whatever, getting into drugs, heavy, all throughout
yeah,
college was bad. And I never. That's where I
yeah,
stopped my journey. I played baseball up until college. I was on a
yeah.
team. I was pitching. I was accepted. I was there.
Yep, I know, I
And,
know.
I just thought, speed and, Coke was so much more fun and Adderall, you know?
I feel you.
You know? And I was just like, yeah, like screw that. Like I'm just,
Yeah,
those days are over. It's fine, but so I needed to transform my own life and and I got into hiking. Always loved that as a kid growing up, and I found running because of that. Because my idea was, oh well, I just wanted to travel more and do more, and and explore other places, and what better way to do that than to run along with it. Like and so now
right, right, right.
hiking became trail running, and trail running became this weird discipline. And then I found the ice bath where it was just I need to utilize this to rewire my brain into a way of creating the next thing. And then came
Right.
marathoning and ultra marathoning, and then I transformed that into this, what we're doing now, into this discipline, into
Yeah.
showing up for the show every week, and doing that. And listen, I don't currently monetize off any of this, although I'm close to it, and obviously that would be a nice thing to do, and or to benefit from as we move forward here in my journey. But I do this because I love it, and
Yeah, it's a passion
you
project.
know,
Yeah, man.
no doubt about it. And these types of moments are near and dear to my heart and will forever be. And just if it's one person watching, like I Miss Loud over here, like we got Sergeet, people that show up constantly from Twitch and YouTube, the members of Shiv Nation, um, I've met people internationally here just on this show on random Friday nights. Just having that connection and doing what I do here, it's all worth it. And yeah, it's all interconnected in my journey. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And again,
Yeah.
I appreciate you being a part of it, man. It's a beautiful thing, and I can't say enough. I'm happy for you. The family that you're growing. You mentioned earlier in the show how that was always something you wanted to be, was a father, and uh, I can attest to that because he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it forever for a large part of his life. That would
Yeah.
always be a thing. And I honestly, I was questioned. It was like, I don't know if he truly wants this or not, but he's doing it. So there you go. He's a dad. It's a beautiful, you're here. Um, we're both fathers now. Can you believe it? How
I know,
times
man.
have changed.
It was only
And
yesterday. It was only yesterday we were playing chess
mm.
in your room, bro. It was only yesterday.
Oh man. All right, man.
We thought we were so profound back then. We were so cool.
We were cool. No, no, no,
I
no. We
know.
didn't
Way
think.
cooler.
No, 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 no.
Way
See, now,
cooler
see.
than we are
I
now.
don't. No, I don't want to hear that bullshit. We don't. Oh, we thought. No, we were cool. I'll stand on that ledge. Go fuck everybody. All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were a
no, for sure.
little ahead of our time. There's no doubt. A lot to learn. A little rough around the
Yeah,
edges. Um,
yeah.
but we were cool people. We are cool people. Listen. If you don't think you're cool, if you don't admire yourself, I I'd question
I'm
you
not
a
as
little
cool as
bit.
I used to be. I'm definitely not as cool
Yeah.
as I am. I'm pretty. I'm a chud. I'm a fucking chud nowadays. Fat chud.
Nah, man, you gotta find that. You gotta find that. I feel cool as shit.
said the uncoolest people in all of history.
Oh man, as I wear the spam shirt over here. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Again, thank you everybody for joining in tonight for the live. If you're watching the post-edited version, I appreciate you as always. Please hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, keep the notifications on for future episodes and weekly and daily content. Follow my boy Komu over here. You got the handle on the screen. I'll leave all the information in the description of the episode on YouTube for you to find all his stuff. It's a beautiful thing. It's July 4th, everybody. It's officially July 4th as we're streaming live to you right now as we are about to head out and end the
Happy
show.
birthday, America.
There you go. 250th. All right. 250th birthday of America. Do with that information what you will. Celebrate responsibly. Don't blow off your fingers. Wear eye protection. I know it seems silly, but please do. Yeah, don't be dumb out there. All right.
Yeah,
Listen,
man.
I usually do my own fireworks show, but I'm not doing it this year. I'm taking the year off. Decided to save my money.
Gotcha.
I was like, yeah, fuck
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I've been doing it every year since for quite a couple of years now. What, 4 or 5 years? I was like, no, I'm not doing it this year, which is kind of messed up. I feel like because it's the 250th anniversary, and you would think I'd come out with a bang, and in fact, I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything. I've had people waiting in the streets for me last year. They're gonna show up tonight
Yeah.
and be highly disappointed. So I'm sorry. Love you guys, but have fun. All right, dude. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna hit this outro. We'll talk behind the scenes. Everybody, have a beautiful weekend. Be safe. It's your boy Matty B, Epis Radio Entertainment. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, keep showing up.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Wake up! You can't remember where it was. Let this dream stop.
Hope you find some kind of peace of mind. Find. And
Hope you find some kind
Yeah,
of
no worries.
peace of mind.
All right, everybody, have a beautiful night. Keep showing up.